Hi, I'm Christy. Thank you for coming to my channel. Nice to meet you. No, it's weird to say that. I still find this extremely awkward talking to a camera. I think it will get easier. I hope it will get easier. I'm not naturally this awkward when I talk to people in real life, by the way. Well, actually. I'm Christy, welcome to my channel. If you would like to see how I done this cut crease makeup suitable for people with hooded eyes, I think it's the easiest way to do a cut crease. Personally, it's just what I find easiest with my hooded eyeballs. So if you would like to see how I done it, then obviously keep watching, you know that. So what I like to do with a cut crease is choose 3 shades of the same colour. For instance, I'm going to, you hear that? I will choose a light shade of brown, a medium shade of brown, and a dark shade of brown. So that's the salted caramel, the milk chocolate, and the, what's that one called again? And the semi-sweet from the chocolate bar palette. Look how well loved my chocolate bar palette is, I know. And with the darkest of those shades, so that is the semi-sweet I'm using, I like to take a really skinny brush. This one's from Krylolan. I will link all the brushes that I use down below. And with the darkest shade, I use this to draw in my crease. So as you can see, I have slightly hooded eyes. So what I do is I look straight into a mirror, and just above where my natural crease is, I'll just draw in where I want that to come. I don't want it in my natural crease because then you won't see it, and for the rest of the day it will just kind of get lost and it will start smudging and stuff if I was to do it, for instance, where my actual crease is in here. Don't worry about fallout and stuff, we can clean this up after, and if you think that you're going to be too messy with it, just do your eyes before you do the rest of your makeup. I just like a challenge. This is also easier when you're doing 2 eyes at the same time so that you can draw your creases in equally. I'm just going to kind of try and do it the same as this side. So I'm just drawing that crease in above my natural crease line. Don't worry about being super neat with it because we're going to blend it all out anyway. And generally I like mine to go to the inner corner of my eye and then flick out at my eyebrow. I just think that's nice. I just think that's what suits my eye shape, makes my eyes look a lot bigger. Yeah, I feel like they're sort of the same shape. Again, it would have been a lot easier if I had done them both at the same time, but I wanted to make sure that it was going to look okay before I made a video on it. Then what I do on a fluffy kind of crease brush, I take the lightest shade, so for me that's the salted caramel in this palette, and oh my god, there's something, every single day I've got a dog hair on my brush. So with the salted caramel and the very tip of this brush, I just start buffing that gently along the line that I've created. And don't be afraid to build up quite a lot of colour with this. I think that's the mistake that a lot of people do make with cut creases, is they're afraid to use too much colour, but you want to pack quite a lot of shadow on there. And then every so often, once I've put this on with the tip of my brush, I'm turning my brush on its side and buffing it out. Just kind of with little mini back and forward motions rather than circles, just so that I sort of keep it along that line. But again, we're going to tidy it all up so it doesn't matter. Get that way. And just keep adding that on and buffing it out until you're satisfied with the intensity. I'm sorry if I look totally glacial when I'm doing this, when I'm concentrating, I'm like... And then also what I do sometimes as well is I like to take a kind of light shade, so I'm just going to take this white chocolate just on the fluffy brush again and just use that to help me buff out the colour ever so slightly, going up towards the brow bone so that it's a more diffused look. Then on like a dense but flat brush, if you can see that properly, I am going to go in with the medium shade brown, which is milk chocolate, and I'm also just going to pack that along that line that we created. And then in with the fluffy brush again and buff that all out. If you're finding it hard to blend and get a nice transition between the lighter shade and the medium shade, just go back in again with the light one and buff over the top of it. I don't know if these are the same shape as each other, but we're going with it. We've came this far now. And again, you can just keep packing that on and blending it out until you are satisfied. And then on another flat brush, but a thinner one this time. These ones that I'm using, by the way, are from Morphe, but they're from like their vegan brush range. I don't actually know the names of them. It doesn't say. But any kind of flat, thin brush will do, as long as it's thinner than the last one you used. I go in with the darkest shade, Semi Sweet, and being a little bit more careful with my placement this time, I'm popping that along the line that we created. And I feel like it's okay if you go like above the line, if you go above the line, but try and not go below the line. It's okay, we'll clean it up with concealer anyway, but still try not. You know, I keep looking up here at myself instead of at the lens. I'm so vain. Then take the fatter dense brush and just run that back and forward along this. And then I'm just going to go back in with the fluffy brush again and make sure that it's all as seamless as possible. I think that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and cut the crease now. On the thinnest of those flat brushes, I'm just taking my concealer. I've gave the flat brush a wipe. You can use a different brush if you want, but I can't be bothered. I'm just going to go under that line that we created just to neaten it up. And this is the scary part. The concealer I'm using, by the way, is the Lasting Perfection Concealer by Collection. Other good ones to cut creases are Tarte Shape Tape. I also like the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer and the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer. Any kind of thick consistency one will be nice. With the denser flat brush, I'm just going into that light white chocolate shade and patting that all over my eyelid. Making sure I'm going right up to the crease that we created. This is just to make sure that nothing budges. You could of course put another colour in here if you wanted. A shimmery colour is sometimes quite nice. Particularly I think if you're going to put glitter along your crease line. I'll maybe do a video on that if you want. But it's pretty much the exact same technique. I always use this technique when I'm doing a cut crease. Then I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush again, just to make sure that everything is really covered with that white chocolate. And then just because I do feel like you always lose just a little bit of the intensity no matter how neat you are with the concealer, I'm just going to go back in with that teeny tiny skinny brush again in the Semi Sweet shade. That was the darkest one, and very carefully just run over the line again, very carefully. And I think even just doing that a little bit just helps to give it a much cleaner look. I get so hunched up when I'm doing my makeup. I need to learn to be like this, because this probably isn't a good shot. And if you think that's looking a tiny bit harsh, just kind of run over it again. I feel like this side goes out a little more than that side, but you know, I don't care. You can leave the bottom lash line completely free of product if you want. I personally just think it brings the look a little bit more together if you add some shadow at the bottom. So, oh my god, that's another dog here. So in with the semi-sweet and that flat brush, I'm just running that along my lower lash line. Like so, as you can see. And I'm just going to kick it out at the end. So it's sort of a subtle lower wing. And in with Fluffy again and the Salted Caramel shade. Just smoke that bad boy out. I'm just going to apply mascara and lashes and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I said I was going to put false eyelashes on, but I actually didn't because I just don't feel like I'm emotionally stable enough to do that today. Like, I just know it's going to be a bad lash day. I already done liner earlier and it turned out horrendously, so I just can't put myself through that with lashes today when I don't need to. So you can just imagine how it would look if I was wearing lashes. Okay. But I did pop some highlight in my inner corner and on my brow bone, and I obviously put mascara on. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and give me suggestions on anything else that you would like me to do makeup wise, or even special effects makeup, which I love doing. So if you want to see anything kind of special effects makeup from me, that would be cool. I would enjoy doing that. So yeah, have a nice day. Bye. Also, if you want to, we can take a minute to appreciate my jumper. I love it. I've actually worn it to death. This is like the millionth time that I've worn it, but I feel like it just needed a mention. It's too good not to mention.